next stop on the worst retirement ever, worst honeymoon ever edition is, as you can see, Cleveland. No, we're in Nice. We're in Nice. It was actually Emily's idea. She has an old friend who lives here, so she's like, while we're in Spain, let's buzz over to Nice for a little bit. And I was like, well, that sounds good, because there's some climbs there I could do. Yesterday we went for a ride actually on this same stretch of the Côte d'Azur from Antibes. We had a croissant on the Mediterranean. And when you travel like this, you make new exotic friends. And these friends might teach you something, such as be careful where you lean your elbow on a table by the coast. Is this your shit? Is this your shit? You clean that up. Can we keep them? No. So reminder, we're gone for 2 weeks, 3 different locations. They're cycling friendly. Each one I'm getting a 1-day hall pass to go for a KOM between our touristy, honeymoony things. Welcome to worst honeymoon ever.
I'm Phil Gaimon. I was a pro cyclist for 10 years, racing all over the world. Now I'm retired, but I'm not done suffering on my bike, climbing mountains as fast as I can, and going on crazy adventures. I couldn't be the best at racing, and I'm definitely the worst at retiring. Welcome to worst retirement ever.
So Emily is doing yoga on the beach as we speak, and I'm getting ready to suffer. Listen. For those of you who don't know, Monaco is what's known as a tax haven, meaning an average apartment is $10,000 a month for a crappy 1-bedroom. The average car is a Bugatti. But all of that makes complete sense if you make a couple million a year and don't have to pay any taxes on it. So we're starting today at Café du Cycliste in Nice. You might recognize Mike Cotty from the Cole Collective series, it's kind of like my series, except less watt dork and much better camera work. Is that a fair description?
You're doing yourself down, Phil. I've seen your camera work.
Just pointing to my selfie stick. And Diana Panchik, who runs a tour company here.
Yeah, it's called Azur Velo.
Azur Velo. So if you're in the area and want some help, as I do, to get up the climb, hit these folks up. I'll put a link in the description there. Can we talk a little bit about the climb we're going to do is the Col de la Madone. Americans have heard of this. They named a bicycle after it. This is where Lance Armstrong, I hate to mention him on my channel, but you got to do it, did his power tests. Kind of a legendary spot. I would say the last video that we did was Roca Corba, which was the hardest KOM that I've done on my channel so far until today. Similar number of pros live here, I would say, but let's just be honest, it's the richer ones. It's the ones who win the Tour de France, live in Monaco and live in Nice, and so the times now are just, one notch better. All respect to the Girona folks, but Richie Port is better than you, and he lives in Monaco because he made $4 million a year. Can you just give a little more perspective on how nuts it is? Did I get all that right?
Okay, so how nuts it is when you look at the times. Even an e-bike is going to struggle to go as fast as the fastest times. So when we were looking at how are we going to film you, it was like we need a car. We need a car to film. To
film Richie, you would have needed a Ferrari.
Yeah. At least.
Maybe a McLaren. Ferrari isn't a good word to talk about. I have ridden this climb before in 2016. That was like a Mavic.
It was a Mavic. I think it was a launch because I was working with them at the time, and it was I think it was a new wheel set.
Sounds right.
And we were down in Monaco, Glitz and Glamour Monaco, and then we all beasted it up there.
Yeah. It was at the time I was second on the climb. I didn't know where the start was or the finish was, so I'll give myself a little credit. But I came second. Now I'm much farther down leaderboard. Strava is a different game than it was in 2016. It's no longer embarrassing for pros to put their power up there.
What are you hoping for today? So the 17,000 people on it. So
I hesitate to say a goal specifically on the times. I kind of know what I can do for 25 minutes, and we'll see how fast I get. To be in the top 10, you must beat Chris Froome. That's what we're talking about here. That's what we're talking about. So a little perspective for poor old 7-year retired me. We've got the camera set up on Mike's car. Let's rip it.
We're gonna kill it. Good luck. We're on the early parts, so he's got just over 9k to go. We can see he's chugging away nicely. Looks like he's got into a decent rhythm.
All right, welcome to the Madone.
beautiful climb. Mike brought a drone, but it was one of the foggier days. You'll see the views, but it's not on its best form, you know. But who is, right? Who is on their best form these days? You can see it's just super narrow. It's like that almost the whole way up. You got to play chicken once in a while, but you know, with a KOM, well, not a KOM, PR at best. I'm not backing down. Mike did though. I think the guy going down has the right of way technically. Let's see if we can get. Where's Phil? There he is. There we go.
Good conditions overall. We thought it might have rained a bit, but fortunately the roads are dry.
And what do you think? You think the hardest is yet to come? The section that's above...
Yeah, I think when Phil's going to take a left-hander at St Agnes, and the road gets narrower, so it's narrow already, but the road's going to get even narrower. And then there's some really steep pitches, probably up to like 13, maybe even 14% on some of the corners. It's a bit more undulating. The road's a bit bumpier as well.
Left-hand turn coming up!
The first time I rode this climb, it was an event. I was on the Cannondale World Tour team, and I got sent to Nice for a Grand Fondo and a sponsor event. A couple weeks later, this climber was sent to Roubaix, which is how you know you're not going to be World Tour much longer. That's the only left turn up here. Try to use the turn to just coast for a second, get a little recovery in. My goal was 400 watts. I could tell kind of quick it wasn't quite going to be that, so I used every little bit that I could for recovery.
Hasn't got out of the saddle too much either, just on some of the steeper parts. So, and when he does get out of the saddle, God, there's some serious watts going down there. You can see him really cranking out. So,
I did notice when I looked later that 6 out of the top 10 from this KOM were from a race from Haute Var. Looked like Mike Woods tearing everyone a new one up that. So that's what we're up against here, and they were still a good bit behind Richie's Grand Tour power test times.
Looks like Phil's got some good speed right now. What are we doing?
He's clocking along at just over 20 k's an hour. Looks like we got the Mediterranean off to the left, but it's going to be a whole world of pain. The gradient's still pretty solid at about 8%, I would say.
You can tell my fatigue level as my cadence goes down. Now here, it starts to flatten out a little bit. Oh, the music changed. I ran out of music. I don't like this one. Hang on, I don't like that one. There we go. I just searched for French music, and the club one isn't. I do listen to classical music more than, you know, when I'm riding for 30 minutes, you don't want to be too pumped up. You want to be paced and relaxed. So here's I'm just trying to stay aero and keep the speed up on these little flattish downhill sections to keep my legs fresh. You're just not going to gain a whole lot going 400 watts here versus 300, but you will, if you fall apart in the last bit, you will lose that much time. Here's the very famous tunnels. I just couldn't cut this at all. It's amazing. So it just stays along this ridge. Reminds me a lot of GMR for the SoCal folks. Super quiet once you get above the residential section.
Looking good. And we're going to come up to some of the steeper sections as well. The next right-hander is pitching up probably like 9%. Still doing well. Road surface is a lot more bumpy though. You see where it's narrowed, the road's got a lot narrower. And it's almost like this chip seal now. And actually recently they put a bunch of gravel down this road, so it doesn't make it quite as easy to ride on.
Here I'm pushing, but I'm a little bit scared to totally open it up.
Yeah, the pain which is going through that body at the moment, but it's still looking strong. And the gradient, what do you reckon? It's like 6-7%.
Oh yeah, I think it's 7-8 over here.
Yeah, 7-8%, and
until we get here to the very end. That's for Airbnb, that one. That's 5,000 euros a night. I have no idea. I mean, it probably is. Now I'm ready to smash it. It was cold by the top. I think they had snow a little bit after that. Here we go.
how was it?
It
was good. 26, 23.
Yeah, I
I beat
26,
my PR.
30, so
That's amazing.
good job,
Congrats.
man.
Thanks for driving.
Oh, that looks so hard.
So Richie Port can stay out of retirement, and Chris Froome has at least my permission to retire if he wants to.
Maybe.
Thank you so much.
A pleasure.
Good to see you again in this. Every time we ride together, we're miserable on this climb.
I know. I think it's like 2 out of 2 now. 100%
Yeah, 2
hit
2.
rate.
If I ever see you again, it might be here.
Probably. Now we know you got a bit of a reputation, so you're got about a 50k ride back now.
Oh,
So we're going to treat you to a classic Côte d'Azur cookie.
beautiful. Does France do cookies well?
I don't know.
I've had croissant. I've not had a crepe yet.
You're the expert.
Okay,
So
I will
you have to
let
let
you
us
know.
know how it is.
Cheers.
Take it easy.
Thank you. Appreciate
Cheers.
it. Bike path on the coast. So Emily enjoyed her yoga on the French Riviera. We had some raclette for dinner that night. The next day I took her to a ride up a beautiful mimosa forest. What do you think?
We were going for mimosas.
Oh, sorry. This is like the time I went to Tequila, Mexico. And it's just been a lovely visit on the French Riviera. There's tons of climbs other than the Madone. Check out Azur Velo. Come visit yourself. Highly recommend. We have one more stop from the worst retirement ever, worst honeymoon ever tour. Tenerife coming up. See you soon.